coming to you on our way to the shack. One of the few times in recent years that we're traveling in the dark, but Samuel is in the finals of football and they had to have practice tonight for his game tomorrow night. So we're on our way here at about 7 o'clock heading to the Sand River property, and looks like we're going to have a record-breaking turnout. Some 12 individuals will be a part of the hunting this year, which is a first time. Previously we've only had as many as 11, so should be pretty exciting. And Sam's streaming his extraordinary music from his iPhone into the radio, so stay tuned for hunting 2011, our 51st year of hunting.
Freaking fantastic.
Yeah, I've never been a salt and pepper kind of guy.
Really?
What do you put in your baked potato?
Cooked part that you don't.
Nothing. I eat
You
bacon.
are very bland.
That's gross.
I
That's
eat
really kind
or
of
cheese. Cheese would be another thing.
Cheese, sour cream, bacon.
No. Either plain or cheese.
You find your
I don't know.
That's kind of gross.
You're me with this.
Do you eat the peel?
Like this? With this? Really?
Did you know you're supposed to wash those?
Yeah. You didn't know you don't wash the potato?
I grew up not knowing that. Amanda was like, we should buy a potato scrub. I was like, what the hell for? She cleaned a potato. I was like, oh.
You got a good picture of his chest.
It's like, holy
It's his lips.
I'm like, that is not a potato. Like, it completely changes the potato. It actually tastes good when you eat the whole thing.
And not the dirt.
Yeah. It's pretty sweet.
Yeah, she's local.
Original, I mean.
She's local up Jones.
And then I'm... No.
Oh, okay. I'm Ica, also known as Dick.
You like a dick? Really? Don't let that get out in school.
Or gin, whatever they put in the orange juice.
That's okay too, but
I don't know.
I'm trying to keep it PG here.
And it wasn't you, it was you.
Have an egg.
Here are scribbles.
Alright.
I was going for it.
Josh didn't seem to care.
Don, are your donuts edible?
Yeah, I'm sure,
Seriously,
but
don't care. Kidding me.
I haven't got to them yet.
Oh. Like these eggs?
It went like me, then you. Like I heard my part, and then I heard. Maybe that's what I was like. Somebody's deer.
Where were you hunting this morning?
In the hole.
In the hole.
In the hole, I didn't see anything, but I found it. It took me a while, but I found it.
Good deal. And there's the guy that got the big one this morning. We'll learn more about that soon. Where were you? Ica. Where were you?
I ended up at the meadow.
Did ya? Isn't that pretty? I love that
That is
spot.
pretty.
Did you see the hunter to the north at all?
No hunters to the north. Nobody.
And where were you?
Number 4. We're trying to figure out what it was. Number 4. It's
Sand River 4.
Sand River 4. All right, see that works.
It's right over there.
Yeah, it's right there. Actually, you can see it if you want to zoom in a little
There it
bit.
is. There it is. And where were you?
The sloth pile.
The sloth pile.
A lot of sloths were killed there. I don't know, what is it called?
Slash pile.
Slash.
Slash.
I like
It's
the
a
Slash like GNR?
It's a forestry term, yes.
All right.
So, did anyone else see something they think is a buck?
What's that popple tree I stared at for 20 minutes was? Kind of looked like it.
Became a buck.
It did at times, and then it became a poplar tree again.
Story. Just look in it. If you can see yourself, talk.
Hi. How are you? Good to see you. The stack or slosh pile or whatever the heck it's called was my experience today. It's dry and windy, chilly, and a couple came by about 8 o'clock. 3 of them.
A couple?
Didn't know.
In
Well,
a Corvair?
convertible. And I didn't see them. I was looking south. They were north. She huffed. They took off. Turned around and saw them running. Decided not to pull. Then about an hour later, an hour and a half later, another small one comes in all alone and just to the north again, coming along the swamp line. And I decided to go for the gun. I put my hand on the gun, and Josh tried to shoot me off my stand. Luckily he missed, but scared the crap out of me, and deer to the north and took off, and I never pulled. So 4 seen, 0 shot at.
All right, we're gonna move it on to Josh here. If you can see yourself, you're good.
If I can see myself, I'm good. All right. Got out, and I was on, what did we just determine it's called? Sand River 4?
Yeah, Hilton 4.
Hilton 4. All right. On Hilton 4.
The South Shack.
South Shack. I like that. All right.
It was a Hilton 4.
Either way.
Can we call it Dick 2?
What? All right. On that note, no, it was a really nice morning. A little windy, obviously. About 8:30, I had 2 does come in from behind me. I was facing to the, let's see, it would be to the north, and they came in, yeah, basically from the southeast. And took a while to turn around. Finally got around and took 1 shot. And by the time, I mean, they were already gone, so it was basically a desperation poke. But little activity, and I went down and walked around and tried to find anything, and no go. But it was at least I saw something and got a shot off. So good morning.
Thank you. If you can see yourself, you're good.
Kind of look pretty good. This is Todd. I was on the poacher stand. Saw no deer today. Listened to some of the activity. And I guess late in the morning, about the only excitement I had was my glimpse went northeast, up the northeast ridge there, and what I'm calling a black wolf, best I can tell, for about 2 seconds worth of viewing, looked at me and moved along, and I never saw any more of it after that. So that was my excitement for the day. Great day in the woods. Here would be Jeremy.
Jeremy, I was on Lone Oak. Saw a couple tails, but nothing really. It was pretty quiet down on the south side.
Thank you. If you can see yourself, you're good.
Are you sure? Yeah. Well, let's see. After that long litany that Doug just recited, my morning was just a beautiful morning in the woods. A little windy, but otherwise, I was on Pollock's Point. Didn't see anything, didn't hear anything. Just a wonderful opener. So, give it to Duane now, and I think he'll wrap it up.
All right, thank you. All right, now, the story we were all looking forward to.
Hi, I'm Larry. No, I'm Jerry. Had a great morning out on the swing set stand. The 8 to 8:30 time frame. Heard some rustling over to the northeast of me, and sure enough, saw a couple of deer kind of moseying around and trying to find their way through. Got the first one in the sight, and it was too much brush. Really didn't get a good look at it, but then the second one came through right away after that, and I saw it and flash of antlers and got a good crosshair on the body, and got my new Barska scope that I'm enjoying, 1.5 power instead of 3 or more. And pulled the trigger and it went up and down, and it run a little bit, so I fired off another round, but dropped right away, and so got a nice spike, big spike buck, bigger deer than I've ever gotten, so it's should be good eating. A lot of fun this morning. Beautiful weather.
All right, we're gonna stop.
It's snappy.
All right, so if you can see yourself, you're good. But you gotta see yourself.
All right, this is the old man. I went hunting with the boys this morning. It was dark out. I don't know where the hell I was, but I found my stand and climbed up there. And when the sun came up, I had a terrific view, and that's all I ended up with, although I did see one gray squirrel, but I didn't shoot him. So that was my story for this morning.
All right, thank you.
Take it out of her.
So
Lucky once in a while.
In fact, I need to take. All right, here we are, 2011 opening morning, and give us the quickie on this one again, please.
Oh, shot it off of the swing set this morning around 8:30. It was with a doe coming from east to west up by the pine tree. One shot, got her in the lungs. Another shot just to make sure it was kind of running, but dropped right there. So
awesome.
A lot of fun. Got it with my new scope, new Barska.
Barska.
Scopes. Made in.
Okay, so this is again opening of 2011, and I went out to Hatchet, my alma mater. Have shot many a deer off of Hatchet. But this morning was a case of the first time I've ridden my own four-wheeler, and I got out to just the edge of Hatchet, and then walked in actually onto the stand and sat there. It was windy, but clear, really pleasant. The stand is sitting really good right now, and had a nice morning and listened to everybody else shooting. It was a delightful morning, and glad to hear all the great stories. We'll be doing a first time this year where Jerry's going to haul his deer in quick. We're going to hang it up, and we're actually going to take the group picture because Sam's got to head on to his football game tonight, and I'll be back, but he'll remain for school, and the weekend will continue. But so far we got one down, and lots of hunters to bring some more.
That looks like a double deer. It could be even a 3-year-old. Yeah. That's a good sized deer. It's a double deer. Did it say 4? Did it brush its teeth? How's its flash control?
My birthday was last Friday.
Kind of a shitty birthday present, huh? Grandpa coming?
Yeah, I think they're all coming.
Made it to 3. He's ready to go home. Meow.
I can't read up there, I read this from left to right. I'm getting a Yair.
Right. Pops up toy. Pops up toy. You never saw or you don't remember doing that kind of. Oh, you love the toy.
All right, let's go, guys.
Push the crowd here this year.
You usually all do it just on your own. I've never had to direct.
I'm taller than you.
Well, if y'all were filed in when you
Let's call up your
Can you get me down here or no?
He came out of the cabin. He's like, in 10 minutes?
Let
me. Can you get everybody in the back, or should I kneel down?
Sam should kneel.
I am kneeling already.
You're fine, Johnny. You're fine.
And those the deer that Samuel saw most likely were the deer that Jason saw, and so they moved obviously eastward and now are probably headed north onto the other property. All right, well, we got Chelsea back. If you can see it, you're good.
I can see it. I went out to the hole, I call it, Pollock's Low. Headed out there anyways, got a little lost, but found my way thanks to Jeremy and some quick directions. From there, I just saw a lot of trees blowing in the breeze. Nothing much down there.
If you can see yourself, it's good. Have a seat. Be comfortable.
All right. This is Sam Coos. Coos.
I'd like to meet you, Mr. Goose.
Nice to meet you. Went out to Ica for It Kicks Ass, also known as Dick, according to Josh. Yeah, but anyways, went out there this morning. Oh, before I went out there, actually, we had to get the 4-track running.
Yes.
And so, it wouldn't start, and I was wondering why not. And so I had Josh come over, and he pulled it over about 15 times, and didn't start. So he's like, "Did you turn on the gas?" And I was like, "Well, Doug told me yesterday he turned it on, so it should be fine." Well, we checked it, and it wasn't turned on. So we turned it all on. It was good. So he pulled it over. Yeah, after Josh's shoulder was sore, he pulled it over, and I got going. Went down to Ica, where BFU used to be. Went up there, sat, didn't see much till about, say, 8:20, 8:25. Saw fawn over by Crossroads, just towards Crossroads, I should say. Just moving along, going east towards the river. So, just going along, and then all of a sudden, so I have my gun in my hands or whatever. All of a sudden, I see a doe, and I'm like, oh, well, that's something I could actually shoot at. So, anyways, I'm watching it come across, and all of a sudden, it just stops and looks at me, and that's like right when I'm about to bring it up. So, I'm staring this doe down, and it puts a paw down to say, "This is my turf, back off." And
It said that?
yeah, pretty much. But it started to like turn and look towards the opposite direction, towards North Knoll. Started walking off, and so I pulled up the scope and saw brown and pulled. There's some brush in between the way, so it wasn't the best shot. Probably missed it. Most likely did. Didn't looked around. Didn't find any blood or fur or anything. So yeah. But anyway, so I saw one doe, and then there's another smaller doe following it, and then a fawn that all ran off towards North Knoll. So yeah, that's pretty much my morning. Got a football game later tonight.
Let me tell you.
Nobody likes onions. Everybody likes parfaits.
Unscrew it. And it
Well, when generator's running,
We're heading.
Slight run.
Probably. I don't think so. Well, that was dead.
Hello, this is Doug.
That's always been dead since we had one in the wall.
And I had the opportunity to go to the North Knoll or to the meadow, and actually what we did is, before I mentioned about my hunting this morning. What we did this year is Duane had numbers for each stand, and if my count was right, it was 15 stands, and we had how many hunters? 11 hunters. So what Duane did is we just mentioned a number, and I mentioned number 5 or whatever it was, and he just mentioned North Meadow of where that where I was going to go hunting. So this year, that's how we did it. At any rate,
You ended up where?
I ended up at the meadow instead of the North Knoll. I guess for the main reason is that it was so dark this morning that it was just easier to find. So I just decided I saw that first, so I just went with what I was comfortable at the time.
Make a long story short, couldn't find the stand, so you did it for everyone.
So then I at about quarter to 10, I got off the stand and moseyed over to the North Knoll stand and found that stand. I was just there probably a half an hour, and I didn't see anything. Didn't see any squirrels. I mean, I heard things, but other than that, it was peaceful, quiet. Just heard shots around, but that was it.
So last night and this morning, please, and if you can see yourself, you know you're good.
It was an amazing evening, the 5th of November, 2011. Unprecedented. We thought World War III was going off around here. I myself was on poachers and was listening to firearm after firearm cracking off. Got back, getting real dark, came back to the shack, and Todd and I were kind of BSing, and all of a sudden Josh came from the south end and said, "Dad, we need help. I've got one down, Jeremy's got one down, Grandpa's got 3 or 5.
Did Dad tell you his story?
Well, kind of. He
isn't here, so you need to represent him as best you can.
Grandpa was sitting on his stand on the, his Papa Don's Ridge there, the north-south ridge, and he saw one coming from the east, actually coming across the ridge, and nice big doe, and so his instinct was to shoot and kill, and he dropped the doe right away. It took a lunge, and so I think he fired off a second shot. Anyways, there was a couple of small ones with it, and of course he got a little excited, just like anybody would, and he basically started dropping the deer, and if they dropped, he would shoot again, and he basically emptied the first clip, 5 rounds, shot at 2 deer at that point, and then had to reload for another 4 rounds, of course, with a second clip, and shot at another deer or 2. He wasn't sure whether it was 1 deer, 2 deer, 3 deer, whatever. As it turns out, he landed 3 deer, 1 big doe and a couple of smaller yearlings, and no spots, thankfully. No spots at all. Nice eaters. But he ended up dropping 3 deer total. Meanwhile, then Doug was up helping gut out a deer. Todd was up helping Grandpa gut out a deer. There was 3 of them there. I gutted out Joshua's deer because he thought he had a second one going. Chelsea and Josh were looking for it. Meanwhile, Jeremy is on the main road out on the ridge gutting out a deer. So we had 5 deer being gutted simultaneously, and it was amazing. We all just kind of, who's going where? What do we got to do next? We got to get these deer gutted out. It was just, and plus look for others that Don thought he had another one. Josh thought he had another one. So we're looking for deer, gutting deer. It was just absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. Unprecedented here at the shack. It was just, for an evening hunt, never before have we seen anything like it. It was just crazy. And so I guesstimate there was at least 15 to 18 rounds shot as far as bullets flying through the woods. And I'm going, jeepers creepers, it's World War III over on the north-south ridge here in the clearing. And that's the whole thing. The clearing is where it all happened. And the guys got long shots, and they all were dropping. We got out of it, we've got 4 bucks and 4 doe for the whole year here, and it's just absolutely incredible. Just unbelievable. And Duane, of course, was absent facto and watching his son play football. And of course, we sent the text message to say, "Hey, we got 5 more deer for you, buddy." And he says, "Baloney." Well, in other terms like that, but yeah, yeah. And bullshit was the way to put it. But yeah, we convinced him. Yeah, we got 5, and he came back, and then of course the next day, Sunday, here we are again, and Doug's got some stories to tell too. So we got 8, 6 on Saturday, 2 on Sunday. Absolutely incredible. And Doug will have to tell his story. So it's been a wild 2011.
Thank you. And you are live video!
Yay, video! I know it's video this time. Just reporting in. I did not get anything, but had a fabulous weekend. Very proud of my boys for stepping up. We had 5 deer last night to clean, and couldn't ask for better company and support and love. So how can a girl go wrong?
Where were you Saturday night and then Sunday morning?
Oh, geez. Where was I last night?
Oh, no. Oh, you were out west or east.
Oh, I was on Sam's new stand, which I call IKEA. This morning I was out on the stand that I call Sloth Hill, not whatever it's supposed to be. I don't know. There you go.
Jason was set up high and large up in a press box for last night's hunting. Didn't see any. And then this morning went out to Lone Oak. No sights. Heard the shots from Doug over the hill. And quite the weekend overall. Good to be back.
How much corn is this guy? 1, 2, 3.
Now, you just get them up. Let's not worry about being fancy. But to have 6 frickin' deer.
Now you're going to have to crop mine in there.
We won't be photoshopping Don. We'll
That's
be
what I'm saying. Now
photoshopping
we're going to Photoshop the last deer.
It's like, how'd that one get there? No, trust me.
We'll put yours with a Vikings jersey and a cup of coffee. Doug, you want to throw the rope on that one?
Crop a
on
cigarette
this side
in mine.
of the tree? Okay. Or you want here? This we can use this rope again, can we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Put it around the end.
That should work.
Give us an end to work with.
We're here Sunday morning, first weekend, and we are now hanging for the first time ever 6 deer, 4 shot last night and 2 this morning by Doug. Another
7.
Oh, this is 7 deer here.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry, I can't count. 7.
5 and 2 is 7.
5 and 2 is 7. So, excuse me. Let's make sure that's right. I mean, 7. And that just yeah, that blows us out of the water so far you can't even imagine it. So this morning, Doug was out on the blue line stand, south end of Hatchet Handle.
1, 2, 3.
And he was getting ready to shoot a buck.
1, 2, 3.
And sure enough, while he was getting ready to shoot the buck, coming behind him, or excuse me, the doe, coming behind him was a buck, and he shot the buck, and then he shot the doe, and here we are. 7 deer. 7 deer, all hanging at one time.
We got it.
That looks pretty good. Hold up. Hold up. One more.
You can see the 3, 2, 1 thing going on. I think it's great. Yeah, Johnny got to 0.
I had it.
I can go 1.
Yeah,
Johnny has to fit.
I'll go 1 this time. 1 expo factor.
I'll get a response in a minute.
I heard it.
Yeah, we know.
I got good ears.
I know.
I say we get the chainsaw, cut the board. Cut the trees down. We'll take it all.
All right.
Make sure we're going
Beautiful. All right. Hey, this is Josh. Last night I was started on swing set, and I was out there for a couple hours, and nothing but a couple of squirrels and a couple birds, obviously. Nothing too exciting. So about 6 o'clock, I decided to come in, and I got to. I actually was on a a search and recover mission. I had lost Jeremy's flashlight after my morning hunt, and so I wanted to go back out and take a look and see what I can find. And got to the bottom of the stand, didn't find it, so I decided to just crawl up to the top, and I had just my gun with me, and I got up and probably sat down for maybe 5 minutes at the most, and out of nowhere I was facing the southeast, and from the west came a good-sized buck, about a 4-pointer, and let it come in a little bit closer, and took a poke at it and dropped right away. When I had come in the first time, I had dropped off my bag with all the knives and everything that I needed to do any type of cleaning, so I had to come back after about 20 minutes, pick that stuff up. I headed back out, and by the time I had gotten out there, it was already pretty dark, so I was on the four-wheeler and shining some lights, and I got out there and saw another deer, I thought, and it looked like a deer in the headlights, basically. Just sat there and stared at me. I had enough time to go and take the gun off the front rack and pulled it up and put the crosshairs on it again and took another shot. Took off east, and I took another shot at it and ended up dropping that, which I thought was a second deer. I found the one right away, so I was walking around trying to find what I thought was a second one. Couldn't find anything, so I came back in and found Chelsea and Dad Jerry, and then came back out, looked again, and realized that I had shot the same deer, actually. There was only one. We cleaned that up, and like I said, it was a good-sized 4-point buck, and so that was Saturday night, a lot of fun. Deer number 3 for me, and like I said, it was a fun, exciting night. This morning I went back out to the same place, the South Shack, or number 4, or whatever we're calling it now. Real quiet morning, real windy, but it was a beautiful morning, and had a good time, and overall this weekend it was a blast.
I was basically the last one out. I somewhat slept in a little bit. I took my time. There was no rush. I thought I'm going to have everybody else go out and then have me go through and just see if there is anything that I can spook up or whatever. I ended up going to what they call the North Ridge stand, the South Blue Line hatchet, and haven't been on that stand for a while, and I don't know exactly what time it was. It was probably around 7-ish or a tad before 7. I was up there no longer than 15 minutes, and I saw a doe come direct north, just wandering in and out, in and out. Shortly after that, while I was trying to get a good shot, and it was hiding behind some trees and whatnot, I heard something behind me direct north. It sounded like somebody walking, and here it was a buck right down the main highway. It was just, the head was down, and it was making as much noise as it can. So here I am looking, sitting, at that time I was sitting straight north. The buck was coming behind me, so I decided to slowly bring the rifle over and do one of these awkward right-handed shots, and I basically just waited till it came to the opening and pow, and that one just went right down. And then I waited a few more minutes to see what happened to the doe, because I didn't see the doe afterwards for a bit, and the doe kind of wandered in and out of the trees, and then it came directly right to me. And it was such. I was thinking, well, I'm going to make it easy on myself. I'm going to see how close this thing is going to get to me. Well, it ended up getting that one about 30 yards away from me from the north. 30 yards from the south was the buck, and the two was within 25, 30 yards of each other. They were coming completely opposite directions. So, yes, it was exciting. I don't know if that's ever going to happen again, to have two deer come completely to opposite directions and end up together like that. And one shot on each one, so didn't waste any meat, so that's nice. Didn't run, that's another thing that's nice. Didn't have to chase. So other than that, it was a nice morning. So it's time to have some lunch.
Jeremy here. Last night I sat on Slash Pile, sat there for a couple hours, didn't see a whole lot until about 6 o'clock, 5:30, 6 o'clock. I had 3 does running from the north to the southeast. I did fire one shot at them, not a chance of hitting them really, kind of just to redirect them back to dawn. Waited probably another 15 minutes, had 2 more come out of the swamp from the southeast. So I did watch those for a while, set my sights on the back deer, seemed to be a larger one. Fired at that, dropped that in its tracks. I did take one more shot at the front deer, did not hit it. At that point, Don had come up and said he needed help. He had 3 to 5 deer down. So I reconnoitered, got everything together, went out there and started helping him locate deer. At that point, I had got out there. I got 3 of them. I went back, got Todd and Doug to go out and help Don. I went, cleaned my deer, and then went back out and helped Don finish the last deer. So, pretty eventful night at that point. Then the morning, I went out to IKA, which is kind of a battle between IKA and IKEA, but sat there, was sitting there for about 15 minutes, had a doe come through, real small doe, didn't even really mess with it. Doug came out probably 20 minutes later and watched 2 deer that were spooked by him go west to east along the trail. They were watching him, not me. After that, I pretty much called it a morning, came in, walked out, helped Don look for some other stuff that was lost, and had a good weekend.
Saturday night. This is Todd. I went to Hatchet, and Hatchet was all quiet. Nothing going on out there. I really couldn't even discern the shots that I heard as being ours or anything. Then this Sunday morning, I went up to North Meadow, and again, didn't see anything. It's been very windy for a couple days, and no action up there either. It was nice sit in the woods.
Tell the story, though, of once you got here Saturday night, what happened on your side.
Oh, yeah, Saturday night, coming in from Hatchet, met with a couple of folks who were here already and didn't know what had happened or anything, and then up rolled Joshua saying, I got a deer, Jeremy's got a deer, Grandpa needs help, and so we had all kinds of deer down, and so as the sun was going down, we had the joy of gutting deer in the headlights of the ATVs for a good 45 minutes, trying to see what we were doing and working our tails off. So that's what Saturday night was. Got back in late with a whole pile of deer and hung them on the board. So it was good fun. It was fun to have that kind of success.
Saturday night, let's see. I went out to CR's Point. Okay,
It's video. It's live video.
I went out to CR's Point. Had a nice evening there, hanging on at a tree. The wind was kind of brisk. I heard Josh shoot, and nothing came by. I heard Jeremy shoot, and nothing came by. Don shot, nothing came by. So I decided after it started getting twilight, I walked up and met Jeremy, and he told me that he got one, and Josh had one, and Don had a bunch. So Jeremy and I went up to help Don. I wasn't much help because the terrain was very rough, and he just wouldn't take it. So Jeremy continued to help and found 3 of them. And I went back to the shack and started getting things organized here. So it was a very eventful Saturday. Glad to see somebody had a lot of fun. Well, anyhow, then the next day, that would be Sunday, again a windy day. Went out to Ciaras Point, and again, nothing came by. Saw an eagle, and that was about the highlight of my morning. So now we're in the shack. Deers are loaded, 7 of them, and it was a wonderful, wonderful weekend, and looking forward to many more of the good Lord's willing. So,
Thanks, Uncle. Great job.